After Will and Jada Smith staged an intervention, Jaden responded to fears for his health. Jaden Smith's parents, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, could tell there was something wrong. Their son looked gaunt, gray and tired. So they sat him down and had an intervention. Why did their eldest child look so unhealthy? As it turned out, he had a surprising reason for looking so unlike his normal self. Jaden apparently felt just as unwell as he looked. Gone was the energetic musician and movie star, replaced by a boy who couldn't sleep and wasn't doing well. Will and Jada shared a hunch that their son's peculiar eating habits may have been the root of his problem. At the time of their intervention, he was following a vegan lifestyle. Jada worried that her son wasn't getting enough protein, which left him wasting away, as she put it, on a September 2019 episode of her Facebook show, Red Table Talk. Fortunately, she, Will, and Jaden's fans noticed his problem, though, and so the family brought in a doctor to advise on the right way to restore his health. Jaden Christopher Sire Smith was born into a life in the spotlight. His dad, Will Smith, had already established himself as one of Hollywood's hottest actors. After starring on the beloved TV series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will went on to appear in popular films like Independence Day and Men in Black. Hollywood has been kind to Jaden's mom as well. Throughout the course of her career, Jada Pinkett Smith has nabbed roles in such blockbusters as The Nutty Professor, The Matrix, and the more recent Girls Trip. And yet she and Will had hoped to raise their son in as regular way as possible. To Will and Jada, this meant that Jaden, his youngest sister Willow, and Trey, Will's son from another relationship, would give back to the community. As kids, they offered their time to nursing institutions and orphanages. Plus, they often donated items to those in need, which Jada credited to an awareness that they had an exceptional lifestyle. For Jaden, that extraordinary life extended beyond a comfortable upbringing with two movie star parents. After all, he broke into Hollywood at a young age too. It all started when Jaden was 6 years old. He joined the cast of the TV show All of Us. His parents created the show, inspired by their own circumstances. Jaden's on-screen work with his parents only continued from there. 3 years later, he co-starred with Will in the film The Pursuit of Happiness. The Smith family patriarch played Christopher Gardner, a down-on-his-luck salesperson who works tirelessly to make it as a successful stockbroker. Fittingly, Jaden played his son in the movie. For his first feature-length role, Jaden earned accolades. He took home, for an example, an MTV Movie Award, which honored his strong breakthrough performance in the movie. And from there, things continued to develop. The young Smith was soon branching out into roles in which he would perform without a parent in tow. During the next stretch of his career, Jaden found great success. In 2010, for instance, he won a Saturn Award for Best Performance by a Younger Actor for the sci-fi flick The Day the Earth Stood Still. That same year, he starred in the reboot of The Karate Kid, which shot to #1 in the box office. By 2013, though, Jaden and Will found another project in which they could collaborate. This time, they co-starred in After Earth, with Jaden playing a hero trying to keep himself and his dad safe. But the sci-fi film received an icy reception from both critics and fans. Jaden even earned a Golden Raspberry for Worst Actor. Understandably, that experience left Jaden disillusioned with life on screen. In fact, he went on an acting hiatus in the wake of After Earth. But his time doing press for the film gave the public an idea of his upbringing. He and Will shared details about life in the Smith household, much of which gave fans pause. For instance, Will and Jaden were interviewed by Metro in 2013, with the elder Smith revealing his and Jada's disciplinary style as parents, or lack thereof. It came up when the interviewer asked the actor when was the last time the boy had received a punishment. He replied, "We don't do punishment." Instead, Will and Jada chose to give their children more responsibility and choice in the way they live their lives. The father of three explained, "Our concept is, as young as possible, give them as much control over their lives as possible. And the concept of punishment, our experience has been, it has a little too much of a negative quality." In the same interview, Jaden said his ability to make his own decisions works pretty well. The then 14-year-old explained, "Other teenagers go to parties and sometimes I'd be like, why am I here right now? And most of the time I just leave right then and there. Some things I don't like to do that other teenagers do." And yet within a year, Jaden would want even more space than his parents already gave him. In a 2018 episode of her Facebook-based vlog series, Red Table Talk, Jada revealed that Jaden had requested emancipation from her and Will at just 15 years of age. Although she described it as one of the most heartbreaking moments of her life, the Smith family matriarch acquiesced. Jaden explained, "Every child needs something different. Being in this lifestyle, in this world, is a bubble, and he wanted out. I understood that because I didn't have the bubble. I knew what having my freedom outside the bubble, what I gained from that. I knew the sooner I let him go, the faster he would come back." Just as Jada suspected, though, Jaden did change his mind. He never filed for emancipation from his parents, but he remained out of the spotlight until 2016, when he returned to television on the series The Get Down. This told the story of disco and hip-hop's growth in 70s New York. On top of that, Jaden has made strides towards a music career as well. He used his middle name of Sire in the title of his 2017 studio album and a 2018 EP he dropped via Instagram. In the summer of 2019, he came out with a second LP called Eris, which is Sire spelled backwards. Clearly, Jaden has come to walk a path of his own, just as Will and Jada had hoped. And yet, for years, the family faced plenty of backlash for their parenting style. For instance, online commenters ripped the Smiths' decision to let Jaden wear a skirt in a 2016 Louis Vuitton ad. As it turns out, though, the Smiths may have been a bit ahead of their time. In a 2019 piece for Oprah magazine, writer Michelle Darasaw considered the criticisms that Will and Jada faced as parents. She spoke to experts, too, who suggested that their approach to raising Willow and Jaden would be much more acceptable in recent times. Lexi Montgomery, a brand strategist who melds marketing and neuropsychology, explained in the magazine, "The Smiths were ahead of their time. Willow shaved her head and Jaden wore a dress before people were openly supporting self-expression to the degree that we see in media today. Their past actions have become trendworthy and admirable due to the cultural climate changing and becoming more accepting. In other words, what used to be weird is now considered cool." Plus, it set Jaden on his own path. This had come to include everything from acting to music making to trying different diets on for size. In fact, Jada and Will's eldest child began practicing veganism, a decision that once again sent fans into a tailspin. However, as he recalled on a December 2019 episode of Red Table Talk, they piped up to voice concerns rather than criticize. Jaden explained, "I walk in the street and people are like, 'Oh my God, are you sick? Can I pick you up? Can I get you some water?' Come up to me like, 'You can have my food, man.' And as it turned out, it wasn't just the Karate Kid star's fans who had raised alarm bells. Will and Jada worried about him too. In fact, the couple had expressed their fears about Jaden's vegan diet on a September episode of Red Table Talk. They admitted to feeling really nervous about their musician son, so they staged an intervention regarding his vegan lifestyle. Jada explained, "We realized he wasn't getting enough protein." Like Jaden's fans, Will and Jada had noted that their son didn't look as healthy as he usually did. His mom described, "He was wasting away. He just looked drained. He was just depleted. He wasn't getting the nutrients. Plus, his skin seemed to take on a grayish hue, and he had dark circles under his eyes." When confronted by his parents, Jaden told Will and Jada that he hadn't stopped eating meat. In fact, he'd just cut way back on the amount he ate, too. He explained, "I was just eating like 2 meals a day, maybe one. Maybe just one big meal, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get around to it." And as it turned out, Jaden wasn't the only Smith with an unhealthy eating pattern. Patriarch Will called an emergency meeting for the entire family, including his oldest son, Trey, and mother-in-law, Adrienne Banfield Jones. During the gathering, Jada conceded that she too ate infrequently, just as Jaden said he did. At the same time, Will shared the details of his own problem, and it was quite the opposite of the issue impacting his son and wife. The Fresh Prince star found himself overeating when he was bored, a habit that he had become particularly bad after he'd gone on vacation. He said he feasted like an addict sometimes. So a December 2019 episode of Red Table Talk had the Smiths dealing with these and other issues directly. For the health-centric installment of the show, the clan brought in Dr. Mark Hyman, as well as nutritionist Mona Sharma. The A-listers hoped that the medical professionals could help assuage their lingering problems, including their diet-based ones. Jaden was hesitant to be subjected to medical testing and have the results presented in front of a camera. At the start of the Red Table Talk episode, Will asks him why he doesn't want to participate. His son references the last episode in which he revealed his veganism. This made a lot of headlines referencing his poor health. In the end, Jaden took part in both the health checkup and the on-screen results reveal. He and the rest of the Smith family underwent extensive medical testing, according to Jada. Dr. Hyman and Sharma had them collect and send saliva and stool samples. The family got their blood analyzed too. In Jaden's case, he was dealt with severe stomach issues that he thought might have been related to his veganism. The medical test revealed that the After-Earth star had vitamin and omega-3 deficiencies. He also had gluten and dairy sensitivities that further exacerbated his digestive problems. According to Dr. Hyman, though, Jaden didn't necessarily have to loosen his dietary guidelines. Instead, the musician could bolster his diet with additional vitamins. Hyman said, "When you fix your stomach, your diet expands. You take a few supplements, everything's back to normal. You're gonna rock the world." Nevertheless, Jaden had said previously that he had altered his vegan dietary constraints and became a vegetarian instead. On the September health-centric episode of Red Table Talk, he explained, "I've tried to eat vegan meals. I go vegan for a week or so, but this past year I've been vegetarian." Jaden is yet to update Red Table Talk on his health, but it's been reported by website Ammo Mama that he has increased energy levels after improving his diet. His new vibe has seemingly impressed his mom, at the very least. She shared a photo of them in January 2020, describing the snap as a proud mommy moment. And Jaden has maintained some of his vegan-related pursuits too. In the summer of 2019, he announced that he'd started his own food truck called I Love You. According to its Instagram page, I Love You is a pop-up food truck making vegan food accessible for low-income communities. It's continued to serve patrons into 2020. That's just one of the many ways that the Smith family has helped the community through their health-centric pursuits. While Jaden sought to make his food truck a success, Will made a point to reveal the ins and outs of his health maintenance. In December 2019, he shared a video of a colonoscopy procedure he underwent. During this, doctors pinpointed a polyp which could ultimately have digressed into colon cancer. In the clip, Smith reiterated, "There's a certain amount of commitment and embarrassment involved with being healthy. Just got to do it, man. It's important to me to be able to share this with people so, other people can become compliant patients to stay healthy and happy, to have all the glorious years we can possibly have." Clearly, Will and his family have continued to live by those guidelines, and they've only just begun. Jada, Willow, and Adrian Bansfield-Jones will dole out advice through Red Table Talk through at least 2020, as Facebook has extended the show's contract until then. Perhaps the program's episodes will cover more of Jaden's journey to good health, too.